Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Meno Lounge. I'm Julie Gordon White, CEO of MenoWell Menopause Energy and Protein Bars. How are you? I'm so excited to be here, as always, scooting around in my chair, just back from Dr. Vonda Wright's Women's Health Conversations Conference in Orlando. And I got to, oh my gosh, I hope you're following along to get glimpses. And I also shared her entire keynote on our page. So make sure you watch that live. I think there's been 36,000 views on that live video. And I got to meet our guest today in real life, who we had on before, health coach Angela. And you don't want to miss this because we're going to talk about something kind of different today about muscle. So I'm going to bring her up. I just saw you here, Angela. Let me grab you. There you go. To tell you, well, I'll wait till she comes up so we can talk about it. But I handed out 600 bars in Orlando. So I hope you were there and you got some. It was so exciting. Hey, health coach Angela, how are you?
Oh my gosh, I am very well. And how are you, Julie?
Oops, good. Your volume is low, but it might be on my side. So I'm just going to turn my volume up a little. I want to hear every little thing you have to say today. It was so fun seeing you in real life. I was standing there and personally saw a woman walk up to you and say, "Oh my gosh, your biceps, your arms are amazing,"
That
which
was
they
funny.
are. So I'm so excited. First, shout out to Vonda, right? What an incredible conference. What were
Oh,
some of your takeaways at the conference, especially with your expert eye on all things health and wellness?
yeah. What I really liked about this conference was that women in menopause are actually heard now. People are not just telling us, that's how it is, suck it up. Well, we're not talking about it. It's an open conversation and there are solutions. And um, I actually love that word. What did Wanda say?
Oh,
Menolescent.
menolescence. We're in our
Yeah,
menolescence. Yes.
I think yeah, that sums it up. And what I thought was also very interesting that everybody who spoke on stage talked about the no alcohol thing, like not getting by with a little or once in a while. No, everybody emphasized the no alcohol.
Mm-hmm,
So, I mean,
mm-hmm.
that's like music to my ears. I never had
Right.
alcohol in my life.
So
So,
you're like,
I,
oh, good. But we know that's not the case for most
no.
women, including me. I love a good glass of wine. I'm here in California, so a really crisp, cool Chardonnay makes me happy every now and then. But it just shows that at midlife, once again, we know this. And
Yeah.
this goes back to hard work. And I kind of want to talk about that today because we don't usually talk about hard work and what it really requires to recomposition, to change our bodies. We have these goals that we want to achieve, including me, and I worked really hard, but it requires a lot of work. So we're going to lean into that. It's like we're going to have today the talk that we don't usually have because we want to keep it, happy, positive, and not that it's not happy and positive. It's just what I would call the hashtag real talk about who
Yeah.
we can choose to be right now and not be afraid of it. They did serve some amazingly delicious mocktails. I don't know. Did you have any of those, Angela? Yeah,
No,
there's
I
it's
did not.
so yummy with one with turmeric, and it just goes to
That is
show
good.
that. And as a matter of fact, I was having this conversation about alcohol with a girlfriend yesterday who is just spectacular shape, sleep, focused, all the things that we need to do, but enjoys her glass of wine or two,
Mhm.
most evenings, and doesn't really want to anymore, but you just get in the habit of that. And so I just did a little bit of research for her and discovered there's a lot of interesting drinks out there that use adaptogens, which are botanicals,
Yep.
plant-based, kind of like maca in our bars, but not maca, that like kava was one of them, that have sort of this calming feeling because it's really the
Mhm.
feeling that we're trying to get. It's not actually the alcohol,
Yeah.
it's the feeling.
And Julie, I think you made an important point on this. And why you just said it so beautifully. You come home and you have this glass of wine. And what happens is, and this is what we all seek, is an instant reward. We
Mm,
want this instant reward, and that's how our whole brain works, how we get our dopamine hit. And especially with food or with alcohol, we get that instant reward. Now, if it comes to clean eating and you want to lose weight, or if it comes to building muscle and working out and making it a habit, well, the reward is in the future.
right.
And that's a big problem. And this is where I see my clients having those hiccups. And
Mm,
I always talk with them about, okay, what is an instant reward? What would be, and see, again, I use your MenoWell bars as an instant reward. So after the workout, we plan a bar in, and that's their reward, and they're looking forward to their bar. And so,
mm,
okay, I'm getting my workout in, and then I get my reward, and that's the instant reward, what actually benefits them, but they're getting there. And at the moment when you are in the journey, you have to use those little hacks to get you where you want to be. And like I said, the reward system in our brain is fascinating, and that's such a big thing.
yeah.
And the other part where I see a lot of people struggle, for example, again, you brought the perfect example, the wine in the evening. What happens is you have this willpower gap. And I don't know if you noticed, you wake up in the morning and you have the willpower for the perfect breakfast
Right.
because you're
Start off so
fresh
strong.
and
Yes.
yeah, you have the willpower. Now, just think about it. And this is, again, science proven, and it happens over and over and over again. We get bombarded with text messages, emails, taking care of the kids, going to work, coworkers, traffic, and all those things
Right.
or deplete our willpower.
Right.
So you
Right.
get
Decision
home.
fatigue. Right. Yeah.
Exactly. And then you get home in the evening, and what happens? You have that willpower gap. And sure enough, if you're not prepared,
Hmm.
you hit the wall and you go off the handle with your diet, you skip your workout. So when you know yourself and you know this is happening, really be prepared for that.
Plan ahead.
So
Yeah.
yeah, schedule it, like have an appointment with a trainer at that time, or schedule your workout in the morning, like maneuver around this willpower gap. And actually to, yeah, keep the willpower up during the day, the more prep and the more automaticity you have,
Mm.
the less decisions you have to make and the more successful you're going to be.
So good. I mean, that's really the essence of the whole thing. But um, I really want to dive into each little kind of piece of that because when we're trying to create a big change in our life, and so I kind of put a teaser on here on the, a little clickbaity on our title today because we're talking about muscle, but I really want to talk to you about, if you wanted to do a bodybuilding competition, how to be a bodybuilder, and you were Miss Florida, Miss USA, and Miss Universe in bodybuilding. So we are so lucky to speak to you. You know exactly what to do and how it works.
Mhm.
And so in order to make such a big leap, let's just call it that, for the average woman, I'm just
Yeah,
going to use myself as I have a little fur in my eye here tickling me. So um, the average woman who maybe has a decent fitness plan that she's doing, but to be this is a big leap to say I want to do a amateur bodybuilding competition.
yeah,
And it really starts with our mindset, I'm going to guess.
yeah.
First, can we talk about that before we get into what body weight composition is and all the things that we have to do? But how about the mindset that we need in order to make a leap like that? Not to mention standing on stage in a bikini and heels. Like, we need to change that. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So, if it comes to competition, you have to have a clear goal setting, and then you have to break it down in smaller goals.
Mm,
So, when I did a prep, I literally measured every Saturday where I'm at. Tracking is so important. The that's actually a reward, seeing the results. And
Mm,
by tracking, you actually can dial, like dial it up or down wherever you're at. Because what you want to do in a prep is you you push yourself in the workouts. You are on a strict diet. So this is the fine line you're walking. So you are stressing your system. You do not want to overstress it. You want to be able to maintain that until the competition, and you want to enjoy that day. So you
mm,
want to have, like, and this is important that you actually communicate this with your coach when you do feel extremely tired, or when you do feel sore and you can't recover anymore from the workouts, you gotta slow it down a little bit.
mm.
So when you plan on doing a competition, give yourself enough time, get your numbers,
What's enough
get this,
time, Angela?
depending on where your body fat is and how your muscles are developed. So I have to see the person, and then I can say, okay, we can do this in 12 weeks, we can do this in 16 weeks, we need a year. You know what I'm saying? But I
Yeah.
have a gentle approach because I do not want to stress out the body. I don't want to mess up the metabolism. This is a transformation, not only for a bodybuilding show, it's for your health.
Mm,
And this is such a misunderstanding with competing, or it has a bad reputation because some people just focus on that one day, and
right.
even the trainers, and they just get those people into that shape for that day, but then there is no like post plan, what do we do afterwards, and also the preparation. I mean, if you want, you can do it very fast and harsh,
Mhm.
but you do so much damage that you will never compete again.
Yeah, it's
You
so,
know what I'm saying? It
so
won't be a
painful, right?
fun experience. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's I love your approach to that because I've sort of been studying this from afar and there's like, oh, 12 weeks to competition. But what is the cost of that and
Yeah.
what does it do to your body, your metabolism, all those things because of your low calories required to get there that quickly, plus all of the working out. Not good. And so I
No.
love that you have to, it depends on where your body fat currently is, how much
Yeah.
muscle,
Yeah.
and then that plan afterwards. I know I've run so many half marathons back in the
Oh,
day, and
wow.
then the day after the run, I'm like, okay, I'm done. And then, I have to start all over again, which was not good. So
Yeah.
I love that having a plan for what's after. It's not just about the one day.
No. Oh, no. And it's actually, you had PCS, post-event collapse syndrome.
What is
So
that?
afterwards,
Is that where you
I mean,
eat
that's
a
a,
cheeseburger? I don't know. What is that?
yeah, but that's what happens like after an event. This is like, yeah, post-event collapse syndrome. You don't know what to do. You go off the handle, and then you shock your system. You overeat. You don't feel good. You stop working out, and you have to prepare for this. Absolutely. So I always like, if somebody competes, to know, okay, we have a celebration. This evening is your evening, and you enjoy your meal and have a good time. And then afterwards, this is what you're going to do, and this is how you put food back in, and this is how you get out of this competition diet. And it has to be gentle as well, because there is a rebound effect with every harsh diet if you go to an extreme. And
Mm-hmm.
a competition diet, like I said, can be where we go to extremes. And it's interesting too. I had clients where I got them ready and I said, well, I would rather wait and give you a little bit more time and do, instead of the spring competition, the fall competition, to give your body time to build the muscle and lean out in a gentle way. And they wanted to do the spring competition and they want to do it the harsh way. And boy, we had actually a lot of issues with their hormones. Interestingly, with
Mm,
women,
mm-hmm.
huge. It was all screwed up.
Mm,
I mean, nothing was working
shocker.
well.
Yeah.
Yep, I want to say, and here we are. It takes such a long time to find the balance and get back into a normal life, so to speak, in a
Mm-hmm.
healthy routine. So I prefer a gentle way. And like I said, numbers are the numbers and the numbers don't lie. So in a competition prep, I do like to count the macros and dial the person in. But like I said, with a little dance, and it shouldn't be harsh, and people should not feel depriving themselves. And it's when I remember when I did the diets, I always ate clean. It wasn't really crazy, but I always kept my body fat low all year round. So it
What is
wasn't really,
low, and especially, and so for a midlife woman, what is a low body weight percentage? So maybe you're not competition ready, but just everyday low, so you can see, a few ripples here or there. No veins or anything, but what's low, or maybe a range, Angela?
okay. So if you want to be in shape and yeah, being a low body fat, I always go with women between 20 and 25%.
Okay.
Now,
And how
if
about
you
competition? Is that what
competition,
did competition?
I go down to 12%.
Wow, I can't
Mm-hmm.
even imagine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going really low. And the funny thing is, or interesting, there is no age limitation. It really works at any age.
To get
And
to 12%.
yeah, and you know what's interesting too? If I have a client who worked out all her life and was active and has a clean diet, a good foundation, those women in their midlife, when they start competing, they get so chiseled and they have such good muscle quality. If you have a young woman, she does not have the mature quality of muscle. There is a difference. They just look different. Of course, the skin, yada, yada, yada. But if it comes to the muscle, like women in midlife, much more mature, good quality muscle. There is a different shape to it. And yeah, they can look
So
fantastic.
is quality muscle, I don't know what that is or what that looks like. Is that because you ate more clean protein or a clean
Mhm.
diet? And what does not quality muscle look like if you got there eating
Yeah.
cookies and cheeseburgers or something?
Actually, good question. So the muscle is not developed, so you don't have a lot of muscle. Just the
Mm,
size of it is very small, and you can actually tell if a person is not well balanced, trained. And this is so funny. We heard it actually at the conference where the emphasis is on the shoulders and the glutes for women, and that's a trend. And I understand that's what we want to look like, even on the competition. That's a thing.
right,
I always, always, always look for a balanced development. I would never ignore a whole muscle group because we don't want big packs. That doesn't mean we skip a chest workout. I
right,
always make sure that we train every muscle to be balanced, to have the good quality. And if you have, for example, good trained packs, you put better shoulders on you. You know what I'm saying?
right,
And then
right,
you get the roundness.
right.
It works together. Like you cannot just train glutes and say, oh, I'm not doing the quads. You know what
Like,
I'm
I
saying?
love
Like,
the way my butt looks and I'm good. Move on. I mean, you can, but that's, a balanced body is
yeah,
what we're shooting
absolutely, you
for.
not only get, it's not, I think, aesthetically nice, but it's also your bone structure, your muscle, like the fabric, everything is in balance and on a good tension.
Mm,
Like when you think about it, and when you just overtrain one side and not the other, you're pulling and getting everything out of whack. So it's just not good for your whole system how it should work. Then you get joint problems or back issues, or you don't know where this is coming from. Yeah, because you have one strong muscle which takes over and your
doing all the
movement is
work.
just
Yeah.
wrong. Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. And so I know someone's going to ask, is it safe to do this level of training to become an amateur bodybuilder? And let's say you're 50 and you've never done it before and you're perimenopausal and your hormones are all over the place. Is it safe and is it possible?
Oh, good question. So it is safe if you take it slow. Absolutely,
What's
because
slow, Angela?
like I said, it's how your body respond is like if your hormones are all over the place, just by having, okay, when you do competition diet, what I like is the timing of the food needs to be the same. The
Mm,
portions need to be very balanced. We are, to be honest with you, very boring in that time because I don't want you to get stressed. We have always the same amount of protein during the day. We want to protect our muscle. We want to feed the muscle. We want to build the muscle. And we don't want high sugar spikes except around the workouts. So you get the whole guidance and we take it. Like I said, I need to see how your body responds when you work, when it does work well. Everything balances and your hormones get much, much better and your
mm,
metabolism gets so much better. You will see the longer you do a competition diet the right way,
mm-hmm.
the better your metabolism is going to get, the more flux you have because you get the muscle quality and the carbs just go into the muscle, get used, and you have this flux going. And you're like, wow, you had insulin resistance and now you fixed it and you're ready for a bodybuilding show. And that's my ideal outcome. This is my plan for every client what I have. Yeah.
That's so exciting. I mean, it sounds like a wonderful journey, even if you
Mhm.
don't want to do a competition, just to recomp our bodies. And we should probably talk about what recomp is, what that means.
Mhm.
But it sounds like going on that journey is only positive to stoke our metabolism and get us to a place where we're not trying to lose weight or reshape our body just by reducing our calories down to nothing, which never
Oh,
works anyway.
yeah.
So let's define what body recomposition is first, and then we can
Mhm.
go from there.
So I always like to do a DEXA scan because that's the only way of measuring your lean mass, your visceral fat, your body fat. Like we get the numbers down and we get your resting metabolic rate. So that's my starting point usually.
Mm-hmm.
Super easy, takes 15 minutes. These are my numbers I like to work with. Now, when we start, I take pictures, I measure. Pictures are more important sometimes than the measurements and especially the scale. Think about it. The size of 1 pound of body fat is the size of a basketball. The size of 1 pound of muscle is the size of my fist.
Oh,
So
let's pause on that. So a pound is a pound, regardless if it's fat or muscle, but the actual size of it, one is small, one is not small.
that's right. And just think about it, how different you look. I have actually so many clients, they competed at their weight when they started with me. Now
Mm.
think about this. Now I had a person, I call it, she was skinny fat. Her name is Becky. And Becky started out when she was 54. And we prepped for natural bodybuilding, and she wanted to compete in the bikini class. And when I started working with Becky, she was 125 pounds skinny fat. That's how I
Okay,
would
so
call it.
so she's thin for her height, but no, but low muscle content.
No muscle whatsoever.
No
Yeah,
muscle. Okay.
no muscle. That
Was
was it.
she
Now,
the aerobic bunny, the person who was always on the treadmill, that kind of thing, and keeping her calories really low? Is that
yep,
right?
you got it. You
Mm,
got it. That's what she was. And she enjoyed lifting weights. I mean, she loves it. And she's still doing it. Now, with her, her body was like a sponge. You could literally watch this woman put muscle on. She was very, very accurate with her protein intake.
mm,
And she's not a foodie. Well, just because I'm telling you the background, cardio bunny, skinny fat, like she's not a big foodie.
right.
So for her, actually putting the diet in place was not an issue. We had no food addiction going on, no sugar addiction, was very straightforward with her. And boy, she was ready to compete. That was a 3 months program. Yeah, three
Mm,
months.
mm.
And
Even
she
though
was
she
ready.
had low muscle quality or not
Yeah,
much muscle, but because she was the program worked for her, right? She was adherent to the plan.
Yep. She followed the plan and she competed in bikini, where there is not a lot of muscle size required, but you want to be shaped. So there
Oh,
is
okay. So
bikini,
bikini versus physique. If is physique, are
figure.
they different? Okay.
So there is bikini, figure, physique, bodybuilding. Bodybuilding are the big girls. This is the biggest you can go.
Okay.
And bikini is an entry level, and I think it's fantastic for somebody who wants to start out, who wants to look toned and feel out how they like competitions. And a
Mm,
lot of women are starting in the bikini class, and that's what she did. And she did really well and loved it. And she did a couple competitions. Yeah, I mean, we had so much fun. We actually, this is also interesting, increased her caloric intake after every competition because her metabolism got so fast and we had to feed the muscle.
mm,
And this is crucial. You cannot, and especially in competition, because every little bit of muscle matters in that
right.
regard.
Right.
You cannot lose any
I
gram. You know what I'm saying?
love
Like
that you
you,
said we have to feed the muscle. It's so opposite of what we think as women, and especially during perimenopause and
yeah,
menopause, where we think, we're so frustrated by visceral fat that's come onto the middle that wasn't there before, and we feel like we haven't done anything different. It's just all come through the muscle to the front. And so to say that we actually have to add calories once we start building that muscle to keep it fed
yes,
so it doesn't go away, that is amazing. I mean, because we don't need to starve ourselves. We do need to move more
no,
and lift more, but we don't need to starve ourselves. And we
no,
actually won't get there, right? If you're not eating enough quality proteins and carbs and fats, you
absolutely.
can't even build muscle,
It's
right?
interesting, Julie, that like carbs, I don't know why they have such a bad reputation.
Right.
It's the timing, and you got to earn new carbs. But boy,
And
they
that's a
are
good
the
one.
best energy source. What's
Yeah.
out there? Go for it.
Right.
Yeah.
So you've got to earn them. So we know carbs gives us energy. So they are not a bad thing. We don't need to get rid of them, but we don't need simple sugars either. I was thinking about, from Halloween candy corn, which is like one of the worst foods on the planet. It's just like
Oh,
mainline that sugar. Like that's not what we mean.
no.
But complex carbohydrates like rice and sweet potatoes when around the time that we're burning the most energy, we're spending the most energy working out, right? They support us,
Right.
correct?
Yep. What I also like is having carbs and protein combined after a workout because you actually want to spike the insulin after a workout to get the carbs in to have a faster recovery.
Mm,
So this is the perfect timing if you want to have carbs, have it right after the workout. And interestingly, this is and I did the mistake as well, but fruits are not ideal because the fructose does not go into the muscle, it hits
mm,
the liver.
mm,
So
mm.
have your fruits, phytonutrients, all the good stuff. They are important. Have the small amount of the fruit. Don't go over with super high sugary fruits, but don't use them as like a replenishment or after like a post-workout meal because they are not feeding the muscle for recovery. Super important.
Good to know.
And yeah,
So this morning I worked out and then I had a third cup of old fashioned oats
yeah.
with actually, you tell me what you think about this. I've now
Mhm.
started using 2 scoops of protein powder in my oatmeal to get in 50 grams of protein because I'm trying to hit my 100 grams of protein or a little more for the day and sort of doing it, making sure I'm getting at least half pretty early. But after my workout, so a third cup of oatmeal, 2 scoops of protein powder, which gives me about 50 grams of protein, whey protein, plus a tablespoon of chia seeds, a tablespoon of flax seeds, and a quarter
Yes.
cup of blueberries. What do you
Mhm.
think, Coach Angela?
Okay. Oh, good one. Okay, now let's dissect this.
Okay, I'm being vulnerable. Like, help me out here.
Now, what I like is you think about your protein intake. Now, the interesting part is depending on how much muscle you have, you cap out. You're not having more benefits by increasing your protein in one meal. So if your threshold or the amount, the ideal amount for you would be 30 or 40 grams. If you put in 40 grams, it doesn't mean that you grow more muscle or you have a better recovery or anything. I like to space out the protein intake in equal sizes during the day because we cannot store amino acids.
Okay.
So you always want to be in an anabolic state, meaning you want to feed your body with amino acids, protein all day long with a robust amount to trigger muscle protein synthesis. So the 50 grams in the morning are great, but just make sure meal 2 and 3, so to speak, has at least the 30 grams you need. You need at least the 30 grams. So you come out with 110, 120 grams of protein, and
Yeah.
that's totally fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then if I'm having tuna at lunch with mustard, not mayonnaise, tuna, and then a big green salad with the tuna on top, no extra oil or anything like that, then that's how a whole can, that's how I'm getting my 30 grams,
Yeah.
25 to 30 grams of
Yeah.
protein in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Plus, of course, the MenoWell bar at around 4 o'clock, just to bump that up for 7 or 8 grams of protein. And then usually chicken, sometimes turkey, and broccoli, and a little bit of rice or sweet potato at dinner time.
Yeah. Perfect. So you have the protein spaced out. Now, the sweet potato in the evening, now, if you earned them, they're good in
Do
the
I have to
evening.
earn it in the afternoon and evening? So what I did the hour workout in the morning, does that still count or no?
If you're active during the day, doesn't really matter what time you have your carbs, to be honest with you. Body
Okay.
can handle it. But if you haven't, I would not have the carbs in the evening, the starchy carbs.
Okay.
I would do them around the workout. What I also like for women in menopause, and which is interesting, it works so well, have a little bit of protein before your workout. And I like the clear protein, the protein isolate with zero carbs, zero fat. It's 20 grams. It really doesn't matter. But if you have a hard time with getting all your protein in, this just covers your bases for the workout and protects the muscle.
Mm,
And especially for women in menopause, they
okay.
have great results. It's just so good for them for recovery and building muscle. Makes a big difference. I mean,
So
I see it.
like an isopure, that's what comes to mind, of
Yeah.
just a pure protein isolate, and just mix that with water or a little bit of almond milk or something like that, like a little small shake.
Yep. And what I do and what I highly recommend for, again, all my women in menopause and 40s, 50s, add creatine to it.
I
I don't
just
care.
started that. Yeah.
Yep, very good. I don't care what time you take it, but take creatine on a regular basis, have your 5 grams. You will see such a big difference in muscle quality and you get stronger in your workout. And boy, it makes a big difference. Like this
Like a
is one
reward. These are like
supplement.
the reward things that we were talking
Yeah,
about, right? The little rewards that we can get when we go on this journey. Tracy Renee, first you said you like that oatmeal. It sounds yummy. It is so yummy. I
that's
look
a
forward to
good
it.
one. Mhm.
Oh, wow. My morning workouts are usually fasted. I'm so glad you brought that up because many women work out fasted. But you're saying if we're trying to build muscle because we might be thinking about competing or
Mhm.
just building muscle or recomping our body,
Yeah.
which means that we don't just lose weight first and then build muscle, right? Check me on that. It means we're sort of doing it at the same time. You're saying that we should have that 20 grams of
Yes.
protein, a small shake before we work out,
And
not
why
fasted.
not fasted? Because what I see with menopausal women that their workouts are stressing them.
Mm-hmm.
So the it's too taxing for their system, and especially with the hormone changes, the changes in the metabolism, we have to fix insulin resistance or something. We wanna again help the body for recovery, building strength, and the protein just helps the body not getting overstressed.
Mm.
So we want to have good stress, not bad stress.
Okay, so Angela, I'm looking. There's some really good comments here, ladies. I love it. Dietitian Menopause says her workouts are also fasted because she doesn't like food in her stomach. A
Mhm,
lot of women feel that way. Well, does the isolate, protein isolate versus the regular stuff that we
mhm.
take, does that interact differently in our stomach? Would she feel better with pure
I
protein isolate?
love this question. Yeah. So the isolate or the clear proteins, they're now all over the place. Just with water, very gentle on your system.
Yeah, actually,
The it's
somebody in our MenoWell method program told us about that she takes, it's like a lemon flavored
yeah,
one, clear.
yeah.
Okay, 20 grams,
That's what
one
I'm
little
talking.
pack. Is that what you mean? Okay. So
Yeah,
not like a
one
creamy
scoop.
thing
Mm-mm.
necessarily.
No, because again, if you work out early in the morning, again, now we are getting into like nuances, but it's probably still dark. um the cortisol is still up, like it has to come up. Like I said, the stress level is a little bit different. We want to keep the stress down, we want to focus on a good workout, and everything just starts to get going. So we don't want to hit our system with a heavy meal. So we want to do this after the workout. Daylight comes up, we get going, and then we have our breakfast. And this is the recovery meal. And I love the combination with the oatmeal, and you add healthy fats in it, the healthy fiber. So you're buffering it out, and you help your body with the protein. So yeah, perfect meal.
Okay, so 20 grams of protein isolate, clear is even better before we work out,
Hmm.
and then the recovery meal afterwards with more protein and fats and fibers and a little
Yep.
blueberries, all those good things. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, it's so exciting. I thank you so much for sharing all this. What about caffeine, which we know is the number one supplement? Does that uh, take place for a, well, it has no protein in it, but sure makes me feel good when I work out in the morning. So I always have black coffee. What
Mhm.
are your thoughts about that?
So, okay, I love caffeine.
Yeah.
But now, if you see me going to the gym, I have 1 cup of coffee and 1 cup of green tea.
Oh, so you're
So,
like double fisting on
yes.
the stimulant there.
And
Yeah, yeah.
the green tea is just a very gentle caffeine. It doesn't give you the jitter. So, depending on how sensitive you are, and if you like that little boost, what you get, it does help for your workout. It gives you also a little bit more this focus, the little bite to push through, a little bit extra energy. But like I said, you can do the green tea, or you can do a coffee. I mean, you can use a pre-workout drink if you like, mixed with L-carnitine in it. I mean, I'm not using it. Like I said, you see me with coffee and green tea.
Right.
So,
I'm all about that, right? Is, the most plant-based, more natural
yeah,
things that we can
the
use, the
real
better.
thing.
I agree with
Yeah.
that. Okay, let's see. Mary, let's going back to creatine. Yes, a lot of women complain about creatine. It made me gain weight. I feel terrible. I'm not taking it. I didn't have that problem. I started with 3 grams of creatine and then went to 5, and I didn't creatine load. Which, can you talk about
Mhm.
loading and what you think about that? And then we can talk about what Mary's saying here. You need to drink a lot of water and stay hydrated.
Yeah. So, okay, back in the days, bodybuilders did the creatine loading phase, and they actually used grape juice with it to get the creatine faster into
Yikes.
the
Well, that's
muscle.
just all wrong right there. Grape juice, right?
Yeah. I mean, so you do not need a loading phase at all, not necessary. The important thing with
And that
creatine
meant
is
taking a bunch of creatine at once, right? Plus the
10, 15
juice.
grams.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
which is not necessary. Actually, you can bump up creatine up to 20 to 25 grams for brain health, which are newest studies out there. But if it comes to the muscle, you want to saturate the muscle with creatine. And what creatine does is it pulls water into the muscle cell. You're not holding water. It's
You're not
not
gaining
actually noticeable.
weight, right? You're not
No.
gaining weight, right? You're holding water.
Yeah,
We there's this distinction we have to understand between gaining fat and water, right? Because it's fat that we want to lose, not the other stuff. But
right. And
it doesn't always feel good.
the water, it just means that the fiber, the muscle cell is just plump and ready to go. That's all it means, but it doesn't mean it reflects on the scale. And when we did the load back in the days, I remember like, okay, you overload with water and creatine, like, yeah, you get bloated by just having all this stuff going on into your system, which was craziness back in the
Right.
days. But if you do the 5 grams, 3 to 5 grams, and you actually, like I said, just get a healthy muscle cell working properly and getting stronger and having a little bit more strength. That's all it does.
Yeah.
You want to have a routine. You want to keep it up. You always want to use it. Creatine is actually the supplement which has been researched the longest and the most.
Right.
It's the safest supplement out there
Right.
right now. There are two different forms. Creatine monohydrate, that's the common. And I think if you have a good company, that's the best one to take. They have all different kinds now, pre-alkaline and whatever. Doesn't work. Just don't
Right.
experiment with it. Don't even go there. Stay with the creatine monohydrate. Now, it's 99% creatine. If it happens to be that you have a stomach or digestive problem with the creatine, some women are more sensitive. There is Creapure, and
Mm.
the funny thing, it's made in Germany. It's easy to get though, no problem. It's on the market too. You can actually read it, labeled as Creapure. It's 100% creatine. It's gentler on the digestive system if you have a problem with it. Not a
Okay.
lot of women have, but I'm just saying.
Just in case. I know I started taking it for brain fog also,
Mhm,
and Barb Sobel, who's our clinical nutritionist at MenoWell, she's the one who suggested it to me. So
mhm. Yeah.
I think it's fantastic. I'm just looking here, and dietitian Menopause says, let's see, we burn through storage more efficiently if weight loss is the goal. And I don't know if you have any comments on that. And then she says, how do you drink creatine given the bitterness? I think it's tasteless. I don't know. I just had some in just plain water this morning and it was just, other than a little grainy, no taste at all. So
Um,
I guess it depends on the kind that you get.
to be honest with you, you don't have to take it on an empty stomach, or you can mix it in your shake. You can, yeah,
Yeah.
like add it to any you
Anything.
want. Like it's no problem.
Yeah.
I like, again, this is bodybuilder, typical bodybuilder mindset. I want it at the same time, same amount, and I'm going every day, the same thing. Like I'm not switching it around.
Right.
So I have my routine, but that's about it.
Routine and precision matter when you decide you want to do a competition, right? You're just going to have
Yeah.
better results faster.
Yeah.
The good point. And just going back to, this is why it's important for us to periodically, maybe monthly, have a DEXA or InBody, because then we don't get confused by, you're welcome, dietitian Menopause. We don't get confused by what the dang scale says, because as women, we like, I'm working out, I'm doing the things, I'm eating well, I'm eating my protein, I'm tracking, and then you get on the scale and it's like 2 or 3 pounds more because your body decided to hold water weight, and we just get so discouraged. So we need to make sure that we are actually measuring what matters. That's why I love you that you said take pictures, because the jeans
Yeah.
don't lie, the pants don't lie.
Oh, and you know what also,
Measuring, right? And then
you know,
scanning for our true body fat, not just the weight of the water of the
yeah.
day.
And what you have to like have in your head, if it comes to muscle grow, it's like watching grass grow. Just be very patient.
Oh my gosh. I love
What
that
it
you
is.
said that, because I am not patient and it gets really frustrating. I can tell we're going long today because the sun is
No,
coming up. I'm going to scoot over here. Is that okay? Because obviously I am so interested in this subject. I've
you
been trying
know.
to like, get away, because I think it's so empowering for women in midlife and perimenopause and beyond to think about what what would it be like to train for a bodybuilding competition, whether you do it or not,
Correct.
like just doing it for yourself? Like what, how amazing are, it's nice to have a
Yes,
goal, right? Just also to say, I
absolutely.
want to lose some weight and build some muscle. Wah.
Mhm.
There's no time frame associated with that. And we know that psychologically we show up for ourselves when there's a time frame. So it's kind of a
Yeah.
cool thing.
What I also do with clients, if they don't want to compete, I set up a photo shoot. So for the photo shoot, they're planning on getting ready for that.
Uh,
And they pick their
uh,
outfits and they look at their outfits, what they're going to wear. Again, the reward system.
mm.
So we're looking at this, we have this in mind, and pictures, just creating memories. Oh, look, I accomplished this, and this is how I prepped for that photo shoot, and look at those pictures. So good. And it doesn't have to be a competition, but you're wearing your bikini. You know what I'm saying?
But do you
So
have to wear that little teeny tiny bikini
you can pick.
you can pick your own? Okay.
But
And those
yeah, for
acrylic high
you,
heels, I don't know about that, but
I remember when I ordered my first bikini, I was in Germany and I ordered it in California. She took my like notes of the measurements and yada yada. And I received an envelope and I'm like, ah, that must be the invoice or something. And I
like
open the thing up and there is this tiny
an
little
eye
bikini.
patch.
I had a little meltdown. I actually used
I get
Bikini
you.
Bite gluing my bikini on because I was so scared
Wait,
this tiny little thing.
what did you call
Mhm.
it? You had to use what?
Bikini Bite. It's a bikini glue. You glue the bikini on
You
for because I was so scared that this thing is going to go somewhere where it's
yeah.
not supposed to. Yeah,
Okay, that is so total BTS behind the scenes information. You heard it here that you glue on those bikinis to make
yeah,
sure they stay in place and
yeah.
because they're so dang small.
They are.
Wow.
But yeah, it's if you prep for a competition or if you want to change, always have in mind that your body is always changing, even you cannot see it. Because what happens is we don't have just the tools yet to measure your success, but you are having success stories. They're just not measurable in the common way we have, like a scale.
Yeah.
It's not that fine tuned, but you always, if you put the work in, if you keep your diet clean and the amounts correct, don't get frustrated if the scale is not going the way you want and if it goes even up. It stay focused. You are changing for the good. You're improving. You're getting better, and be patient. Just keep going. Like sometimes you really gotta put your head down and keep the good work up.
Be
It's
patient.
that's where you have to have the motivation and support. Just have a good support group.
Yeah. And a good coach like you that has been there,
Thank you.
done that. I love a coach who has been exactly where I want to go. So if you are excited, curious, thinking about, should I consider, doing an amateur bodybuilding contest or even just prepping as if, I love the idea of a photo shoot. And then if you get ready for the photo shoot, then you're actually probably ready for the competition. It's like a boom,
Yeah,
boom, right? So um,
works out perfect.
it works out perfectly. That's so cool. I know I have squeezed all the juice out of you today, but do you have any tips left for that you haven't shared that you're thinking of that might help someone, a woman who's in midlife thinking, wow, could that be me?
Oh my gosh, there's so many things to actually get ready for a bodybuilding show, but I think one of the most important things is the preparation. Always prep. And the more you prep, again, the less decisions you have to make. You go on autopilot and you just enjoy the journey and take the time to have the numbers down, the goals, the food, all that, and then just go prep and rock and roll.
I love it. And I'll just remind what you said. Boring is good. Boring is our BFF during this time. We're not trying to find like the most exciting meals on the planet because we're just trying to feed our muscles, right? So
Right.
I always say boring is sexy. And then you have to be patient because it takes time.
Yeah.
That's why we're never gonna, you know, women can be afraid, oh, my muscles are going to be too big. Like, good luck on that, right? We have to work so hard to
Yeah,
get there.
good luck.
Good luck.
Oh, absolutely.
There's just you'll just get the fabulous, extra fabulous on the way. We're not going to get to that size if you don't want to. You'll just have to work so hard to get there.
You know, Julie, was also fun. I feel like I'm never done. I always love to, hey, I could actually work on this, or I can improve that, or let's work on this. Like it's sculpting, it's an art.
Yes.
And when you get to that point, you can actually see what you can do. And the beauty is you're never too old or too late, or
Right.
it always works.
I love it. I listen to YouTube of female bodybuilders who are in the bikini or physique level, and they are 50s, 60s, and 70s. Like,
Yeah,
hell yeah. I mean, that's so cool.
it is.
Okay, Coach Angela, your company is called House of Shape. I love that so much because when we take care of our bodies and we have these big goals, we can build the shape, the mental shape, the physical shape of who we're meant to be and still capable of being in midlife. So I love everything you do and stand for, and your heart. You're such a kind person. So if somebody wants the real step by step to actually get started on their bodybuilding journey or just recomping, reshaping the body they have, how can they find you and reach out and get all your goodness?
Yeah, houseofshape.com. And on social media, you find me under Health Coach Angela.
I love it. So make sure you follow her right after this. Lots of good things, and just reach out because she is kind, smart, and strong AF. I mean, her muscles are beautiful. So you'll
Thank
be
you.
inspired. Angela, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
I hope to see you soon at another incredible event to
Yes,
be
please let
continued.
me know if you know an event coming up and don't know about. I would love to go. It was amazing, and
It was
you
amazing.
are amazing.
Oh,
Like you have to meet Julie in person because then you not only enjoy her bars, you actually can see her energy and passion,
oh,
and you enjoy the bars even more. Oh my God,
thank you.
you're
And you'll
amazing
say, wow, she is short. That too.
and mighty.
And small but mighty. I love it. Angela, thank you so much. To be continued. I look forward to staying in touch. And everyone, be well and get strong. Let's do it. Thank you. Take care.
Bye.